Lucy Eldine Gonzalez Parsons occupies an unusual position in American history. Born in 1853 in Texas and returned to the Essence March 7, 1942, in a house fire in Chicago. She was an American labor organizer, radical socialist, and anarchist communist. Lucy made it her life's mission to fight for the poor and disenfranchised. She was the founder of the Industrial Workers of the World, the widow of the executed Haymarket eight-figure Albert Parsons, and a writer and speaker. Lucy began her career as a writer and lecturer, writing for the WPUSA's paper, The Socialist, and speaking for the WPUSA's and the Working Women's Union. She's noted as the first Black woman to play a prominent role in the American left, though she denied any African heritage, claiming only Native American and Mexican ancestry. Well, we thank you anyway, Lucy. Did you know that? Well, now you do. Peace.
All right, peace, everybody. It's been a minute. Welcome back to My Quality is for Real. We are wrapping up Women's History Month today, and so I have the honor and the pleasure of having one of she really my mentor from far. I watch her, and I really study everything that she's doing, and I think that she is amazing. And she's your second time being on the show. So she is no stranger to the show. We have Dr. Stacia Alexander. She is, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself for the people who may not have seen you on the first show.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's start. My profession is a licensed professional counselor. I've been doing that my entire adult life. Let me say that. And I've been in private practice for 23 years. We counted it the other day.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I work over at Paul Quinn, which is a small HBCU in the Dallas area. Do that, the clinic director over there. A speaker, author, love doing hopping on podcasts to talk about just about anything. A lot of times I get called to talk about mental health, so we'll definitely pull that in. What else? So that's professional. Then we'll get into the personal stuff, like whatever, based on the show's content.
Okay, because you're a mother, a wife, have a beautiful family, beautiful two sons and a daughter. I told you I'll be watching you. I'll be watching you.
You be watching. Yeah, so one is my nephew. The middle one is my nephew. We helped raise. That's my bonus baby. And yeah. Yep. Okay. Three adults.
Everybody is growing up now. How does it feel? So you're an empty nester now.
It's official. The last one, the middle one graduates May. May 7th. My birthday. He graduates. And the girl is on the East Coast, the boy's on the West Coast. And then he said he's gonna stay in Dallas. So they are officially adults.
It's funny how you refer to them as the boy and the girl, the little girl. Like that you be posting and stuff. Oh, look at the little girl, she doing her thing. So I'm proud of that, and I know that you are very proud of
Thank you.
Your baby growing up. So I'm gonna just hop right into it. Like you said, the last time that you came on, we did speak about the mental health. This time I kind of wanted to give, because the many hats that you do wear, one of the most recent hats that I've seen that you wear, that you are now VP of Marketing of the Wellness Experience 365.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to talk about that and just give you a kudos for that, because I see that it's not just you, it's a group of black women, and that for one, I'm honored and very, very proud of that. So I want to touch on that and how that came about. Again, with all your many hats, how do you even have time, and what brought that about?
So that's a good way to integrate the discussion, because you asked me, how did that come about? So what I do, my outlet is, I have three. One is gardening, one is the DIY projects, and one is graphic design, building websites and social media management, and helping people get their business off the ground. So somebody asked for help with their website, and I inboxed her, because I don't necessarily advertise that I do web designing and stuff. I just, it's by word of mouth. People say, Stacia builds websites. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Okay, I can do yours. So I didn't put it on her post. And let me tell you why. Let me take a quick little commercial break. The reason I don't advertise like that, like put my stuff on people's posts, is because the graphic design is not my main source of income. Okay. Other people that respond, that may be their main source of income, and I don't want to take away from their market. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Okay.
Okay. So for me, it's a part-time thing, right? If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, my bills still get paid and things like that. So because I knew her, I inboxed her and she was like, oh yeah, let me call you tomorrow. We get on the phone the next day and we're talking, and she tells me about the business that they're starting and everything that's going on and why they need help with the website. And I said, okay. And she said, hey, we're looking for another partner. And I said, yeah, I never thought about that type of business. So I don't know about that, right? Because I'm totally not informed enough on that business, but let me get started on the website. How about that? So we did that. And then she called again and we talked some more about it. I did my research, what I could do. Did my research. I went to the meeting to talk with the other partners, and it was a really good connection between the 5 of us. And they said they were going to pray about it. I was going to pray about it. And then we all came back and said that I would be a good fit. And part of what I bring to the company is the social media experience, the website development, engagement. I did our press packet and got that together, organized that. So that's how I got that title. And I mean, and it's so funny how you say, how do you do all of this stuff? You can see that I subconsciously separate those things that I do, because that's the only way I can really manage it, if you will. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think I've introduced myself with that ever on interviews. I haven't ever said, and by the way, I'm part owner in. I've never said that.
Okay. And that's, like I said, that was one of my, once I seen that, that was my main reason for wanting to bring you back on, because I'm like you said, that's not something that I seen you, doing, and the fact that you got into it, I'm like, okay. So I myself am wanting to get more into that, as far as the, just the wellness and I have family members who deal with a lot of different ailments, just sicknesses and stuff like that. And I'm trying to also learn myself, but also teach them as well, to get away from, the traditional things that they tell us. You need to run to the doctor and do this, and trying to do more holistic, go a holistic approach. And so I see that, they have the CBD and, all of that. Can you kind of talk about that and like the services that they all provide, and how have you actually like been doing it for yourself as well?
No, I use not the edibles. I use the topical products. Okay. So let me tell you, the reason it is a CBD business, and the reason that it intrigued me was because I had no idea how many products you could have that are CBD infused. I had no idea before I started doing the research. So we carry skincare products, we carry hormone products, we carry pet products, lotions, pain relief, feminine products like lubricants and things like that. Honey, peanut butter foods, water. We have water with CBD in it, candles, soap, like all of these products that we buy every day. We have quite a few of them that have CBD infused. So I like the pain management products because since I went through menopause, I have had just really odd aches and pains, if you will. And I can take ibuprofen, but I'm also aware of how ibuprofen can affect your kidneys and your liver, because you're trying to process what you said, that medication. Exactly. So I try not to take it as much. I take it because I do believe that if you stay in pain, you release stress hormones, and that is also counterproductive to living a peaceful life. So if my pain, gets to a certain point where I'm like, oh, that really hurts, then of course I'm going to take the ibuprofen. But I don't want to get up every day popping an Advil. That's not something that I want to do for my life. Exactly. So the roll-ons and the creams are a really good option for me. We even have deodorant. Like, I'm serious. It's a lot of products. Yeah.
Oh wow! And see, I used to.
And we have the edibles too.
Have you tried the edibles?
No.
No, you haven't tried
No,
it yet.
that's not my, I don't, no, see, I don't even drink alcohol. I don't drink wine or anything. So like that wouldn't be in my repertoire. You see what I'm saying? That's not, that's, and it's not because I was an alcoholic or anything. It's just that I just haven't done those things in 20 something years. So let me say this though, if I was struggling with anxiety or something, or if I was struggling with depression, I would certainly want to try those, right? Because then I could have a valid response to people when they ask me, oh, does that really help with anxiety? I could really tell them, right, from a personal experience. But what I do now is I explain it to them for maybe some of the partners who have used it or some of our clients that come back in, because everything is available online. So we can ship it anywhere in the United States.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. So when you were talking about like the ibuprofen, I used to be a religious BC powder taker. I would take BC powder for everything. That was my go-to. And then I learned that that's actually, the more you take it, because it's basically just crushed up aspirin, basically. And the more you take it, it can eventually starting to mess up like the lining in your stomach. And you know, it's just a lot of different long-term stuff that can happen, and you know, that's not good for us. And so again, once I seen that you were into this, I was like, well, I really wanted to talk about that, because a lot of people in our community, we don't know that there's so many different products that you can use for CBD. Like you just mentioned deodorant. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, you know, that they had deodorant and even skincare and stuff like that. From my understanding, when I think about CBD, I just think about a healthier version of weed, if you will. Like that's what we think about when we hear about CBD. Because I smoke weed, and so I have heard people say, oh, you know, it's a better version of it. And so, you know, for you to bring that to the table, I think that's awesome for us to know more about that.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's been a huge learning curve for me, but I've enjoyed it. I've met a lot of people, like we have a good elderly customer base. They use it for arthritis and pain management. We have quite a few veterans that come in. The anxiety component of it, using it. A lot of people use insomnia. So even like people are familiar with the edibles, but there's also tinctures, which are drops. So they just go under your tongue. Yeah.
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that either. Okay, so to kind of shift gears a little bit and kind of get into the mental health, with it being the pandemic and everything, how has that been going for the business? I'm sure it's booming now with, you know, people dealing with COVID-19 and everything like that. How has that been going?
So for my practice, we've actually shifted to a virtual format.
Okay.
And not that everyone is, let me see, am I still connected? Sometimes I lose. It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think on my end it's showing that I have a weak connection, but we're gonna
connection.
We're gonna get through it.
Keep going. Okay, all right. So even though there's still some people who would prefer to come into the office, I still shifted everything virtual because it absolutely makes more sense to make it as accessible as possible. And then if somebody calls that wants to be in the office, then I have a good referral base of colleagues who are still seeing in the office. But one thing about COVID is more people have accepted that counseling is absolutely beneficial.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've seen a deterioration of the resistance, more acceptance. Counselors are in demand, if you will. I probably get 2 to 3 emails a week from recruiters asking me to come work at companies. Yeah, so they're definitely in demand.
Yeah, and I remember I spoke to you and reached out to you as well. And I started, I joined a group called More Than Tribe. And for a minute, I liked it. For me, I liked it, but I would rather do like the one-on-one. It was more like of a group thing.
Okay.
But for me, I would like to do the one-on-one. And I realized that a lot of people have the stigma that when you go to a counselor or a therapist, that they're going to solve the problems for you. but it's really just a way for you to look more inside of yourself. Like you're not necessarily there to fix the problems. You're there to ask the questions to get us to start thinking about, well, why have you been doing this? Or why have you been thinking this way? You know what I'm saying? And so I think that a lot of people now, like you said, are realizing that a lot of times they were, it was like a stigma where, you crazy, or, I don't want to tell other people my business, but it really helps. I think so. For me personally, I really think that it helps.
Good. I'm glad you think that way, because that'll help somebody else.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm sorry for the background noise. Can you hear you? Good.
I don't know what that is, but I heard it a little bit. Yeah. Okay. You're fine.
No, it's cool. But yeah, so again, with this being Women's History Month, I want to thank you for, taking time out of your day, even though this would kind of technically air after Women's History Month, but we can still celebrate everybody. We can still celebrate us all year long. Right. But I just, like I said, I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about the wellness business. Of course, like we had talked about the healthcare before, but I kind of wanted to touch on that because I know a lot of people don't know a lot about that. So I'm glad that you were able to kind of touch on that. Do you have like a website or like social media where people can check it out?
The website is cbdwellness365.com.
Okay.
cbdwellness365.com. And we're on Facebook. Same thing, you can hashtag and you should be able to find it, or the Wellness Experience 365, because the name of the store is the Wellness Experience.
The Wellness Experience.
Yeah, the website wasn't available, so we did CBD Wellness 365.
Okay.
365.
Okay, so do you also have the the page that you have, the Emotionality
of Success.
The Emotionality of Success, because you also had a podcast that Goals Don't Have Feelings. Y'all definitely go check that out. And can you touch on that again for the people who may have not seen you before, and kind of touch on are you still doing the Goals Don't Have Feelings show?
Right. Interestingly, I'm not calling it that anymore. Okay. So all of those episodes are still up on my YouTube channel, but it's just the Emotionality of Success now. And so the reason I did that was because that name, it definitely spoke to what was going on at that period in my life. And basically what I've told myself for the better part of my adult life is that you have a goal, doesn't have a feeling, figure out what's going on with you and move past it. Like when people try to lose weight, right? Okay, so you stall, deal with the emotion, but don't let that emotion stop your goal of wanting to get all of this weight off or what have you.
Right.
But I started calling it the Emotionality of Success just for it to resonate with people more broadly, right? Because everybody wants to achieve some level of success in some area of their lives, but rarely do they talk about what it takes out of them emotionally to actually achieve that level of success and sustain it. So that's what the podcast is about. And interestingly, I really, although it may not seem like it, I sat down. I did not do as much the first quarter of the year. I really wanted to just sit back and kind of regroup. And now I'll start recording again the second quarter of the year. And then who knows what'll happen in the third quarter? I don't know. Because I didn't record any last year. I didn't do any podcast. I think I may have done audio for a little bit, but I didn't do any video. And then the first year of COVID, I did this series, Coronavirus Conversations, with different people in the community. But no, last year was focusing on my cohort, the group of ladies that I was working with with their businesses. That's what I did last year.
Okay, and so kind of the same for me. And it's funny that you said that as far as dealing with the emotionality of success, because for me personally, and I know it, in saying it sometimes maybe kind of feel crazy, is like sometimes I kind of feel scared to become more successful because I'm scared to leave, certain people behind, or, it's kind of like they say, it's lonely at the top, if you will, you know what I'm saying? And it's scary. And as much as I want to be successful, and as much as I want to grow, it's scary. And so the fact that you have that page and, there's other women who share and, very transparent. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one that thinks like that. I'm not the only one who, feels that way. And yeah, you definitely have to kind of sometimes get out, like they say, get out your feelings. because your goals, they don't have feelings. They're still going to be there. You still have to get up. You still have to do it, no matter how you feel. Cry, get over it. The bills still have to get paid. You still have to get up and go.
So I say cry and deal with it. I don't say get over it. I say cry and deal with it. Let's, like you even said, the fear of being successful is that some people may not be able to take that journey with you. Like, let's deal with that fear, because what ends up happening when it sits there, you dull your shine. You subconsciously, inadvertently sabotage your progress. I did it myself. I was waiting for approval for people that were close to me. So I may, right, like I may jump a little bit, but I would never leap. I would never just totally put myself out there. And I remember having a conversation with my husband. I said, I'm going to see what happens this year if I unapologetically promote myself. I'm just going to see what happens. And that year I had quite a bit of exposure. So now it's still working, right? Even though I laugh now because Facebook muted me because there was some issue with my ads, right? So they muted me, so my stuff doesn't organically get in front of my audience. Even though I was posting regularly, really great content, it was synchronized, great graphics and all of that, nothing. So I said in 2022, y'all, I'll kick rocks. I'm not posting, right? And I think I posted a reel and another picture just laughing one day, and they got so many views, and it was like,
oh, wow.
So as opposed to me sitting up planning content, right, for 3 hours every week and posting all of that stuff, it's just, you're just going to get what you get when you go to my page. So everything is not going to be all synchronized and aligned and beautiful and stuff, but the content is still there. If you scroll through my stuff, you can see everything that I've talked about over the last 10 years. It's just there.
Wow, Facebook. I don't know what's going on with Facebook and Instagram. I think that they have some type of robot, they have something going on to where I don't know if it's just us. When I say us, I mean like the Black content creators. Is like they're not trying to show our stuff. They're really trying to mute us, like you said.
Well, no, it's they want money. You got to pay for advertising. So it's not, before it was, if somebody likes it, it's going to get on their page and everybody else will see it and it will get in front of more people. It's not the case anymore. So they definitely have changed the way the system is. So if you pay for the ads and you pay for, right, you pay for what you get. You spend more money on ads. You get, like I have an ad out there. So I looked at my insights the other day. It said that I had gotten in front of 11,000 accounts.
Oh, wow.
Right, because I have an ad out there.
And I've always been kind of skeptical to pay for the ads. I'm always kind of skeptical to pay for anything on Facebook because they'll ask me like for your card information and I'm glad that you said that. So it actually does work to kind of like pay for.
Oh yeah. So Facebook, if anything, it is secure, right? Okay. Like you can't even have an ad campaign, an ad account without verifying your identity. And when I say verifying your identity, they want everything and that's the scary part because you do have to send them your identification and then they follow up with you and tell you, okay, we have approved your identity or what have you. And I'm sure that was from years of people doing stuff they didn't have any business doing on it. But once you set up a business account, you're fine, right? For the most part, unless you just get some really phenomenal hacker who just really wants your stuff, right? But the regular Joe Blow can't just go in there and get your stuff. But I would say if you're going to do ads, if you don't do ads just for the sake of getting in front of accounts, that's a waste of money.
Okay.
That's a waste of money. If you're going to do ads, it's because you got a product to sell or you have a service to sell and you want that exposure. So you have all of your systems set up in place that when they see you come on the screen, you have some way for them to click and enroll or click and buy.
Okay, good to know. I'm gonna note that for sure.
Yeah, don't sponsor ads just because you got a cute graphic. It's just, it is a waste of money. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, make sure you stay active in the group. I'm changing the format.
Okay.
We're going to open it up so other people can post dynamic stuff in there about the 4 quadrants. So like you said, this like women integrating different hats and things like that. If you wanted to drop a question in there about that, like, how do y'all do this? You know, like what's going on? Then you can do that. We have some parameters on there about posting lives and stuff. We're not going to do that. But I still want to keep the conversation going, but I'm going to not be the one controlling the conversation, right?
Okay.
I really want to hear what other people have to say and what they're thinking, and see about organic engagement and see how it goes. Like, what do you guys want to talk about?
Okay, I think that's dope. I think that would definitely work. And I'm more of a kind of behind the scene. Like I watch like I said, I watch a lot of stuff, but kind of, I'm glad that you said about, you had the year where you were like, I'm going to just unapologetically promote myself. And I think sometimes for me, I'll start off doing it, and then it's the instant gratification for me. It's like, okay, well, I'm only getting this many likes, and so ain't nobody paying attention to me, or they gonna get tired if I post 3 or 4 times a day. And so I need to, for me personally, I definitely need to, in 2022, like you said, just be unapologetic about it. Y'all gonna see me, and if you don't like it, then just keep scrolling. It is not for you,
Right. My coach told me last year, she said, what you plant today, you will eat in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right? So immediate gratification, that definitely is something that you have to get out of your system. I got a call the other day so I think in the last 12 months, I've had 2 international stages, but I got a call the other day, and it was a relationship that was planted 10 years ago. Right?
Being able to see, okay, that's amazing.
Keynote speaker for a McDonald's program. You see what I'm saying? It was like, wow, okay, yeah, let me send you my stuff. And because I had been planting all this time, she said, oh, we already have all of your links. They've been on my YouTube page, my Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. They've been on everything. She said, we want this one right here. This is what we want you to talk about in front of our group.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
You gotta plant. And it does. It works out in so many different ways. So yeah. So when you ask me how I juggle everything, I do have planners. I do have days of the week that I allocate towards stuff. Okay. And I just have to, like, if I say I'm going to do this business on Monday, anytime somebody asks me for something, I'll get it to you on Monday.
Okay.
I don't try to juggle it. Before COVID, I used to do that. And it wasn't until COVID that I realized I was dog tired.
Yeah, trying to do everything. Tell me, we just having this conversation today. Like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot trying to juggle everything. But like you said, we need, and you also need a team as well. You know, we try to do everything ourselves and thinking, oh, I'm gonna get it all done. But it's important to have a team and a planner. I hear a lot of people talk about they have a planner. I need to get into that for sure. Do you hear me? Can you hear me?
I lost you.
Oh, you lost me. Can you hear me?
I think you're back.
Okay.
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm not gonna hold you too long. Again, I just wanted one of the reasons for this show, man. Sorry, my studio, I'm in the kitchen now, so you can probably hear the food in the background, but it's okay. We gonna make it work. But one of the main reasons that I started this show is because I want to shed light to a lot of the amazing people that I myself, find dope, and I want to share that with the world, and to kind of give you your flowers while you're still here, and to let you know that you're definitely, like, with you walking in your purpose, it allows people like me to have the strength and the courage to walk in my purpose. So I want to say thank you. With Women's Lunch, we honor you and I respect you, and I love everything that you're doing. Anytime I ever have a question about anything, you write on, like, not even an hour later, you're responding, and I'll be like, I know she has 7 jobs right now, but the fact that you take the time out to actually respond, and a lot of people will just ignore you, and you know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you. A lot going on over here. We're gonna go ahead. He's trying to cook and everything. So thank you so much. Y'all be definitely follow Dr. Stacia Alexander. She's doing a lot of great things. Y'all check out the Wellness Experience 365. Any last words
Thank
you want to give to the people?
I just want to commend you too. You're doing a great job too. I follow you and your artwork. That's exciting. Congratulations on the things that you're doing. So yeah, I appreciate being on the show again. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anytime that you have anything, this is definitely a platform for you. I'm sure, we'll keep in contact. Anything that you have going on, I would definitely want to always give you a platform to come and share with the world. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate that.
All right. So you have a good night.
Thank you.
And this is going to air sometime next week. I'll definitely send you a copy of it, and I'll let you know for sure.
You too, lady.
All right. See you later.
Hello, sir. I'm Detective Avery. This is Detective Barnes. Sorry to disturb you so late in the hour. Do you know a Constance Wells?
Yeah, she helped me get back in school. Why?
You sure that's all she does for you?
Several days ago, we found Miss Wells passed out in her room after taking some pills. We found this pill bottle in her possession. It has your name on it. We're just wondering, how did she get it?
What's going on?
Go back inside, baby. It's okay. Let's go back inside.
So do you mind coming with us down to the police station? This actually isn't the only bottle we found with your name on it. She has several stashed in empty drawers. Just want to ask you a few questions.
Am I under arrest?
You could be, if you don't come with us.
No, but we could come back with a search warrant.